Hey guys, today we're going to be shooting luxury photos of this $1 million listing in Gold Canyon, Arizona. We're going to be using the A7R4 and the 12-24 G Master 2.8 Sony lens. And we're also using, for flash, we're using the Godox 8600 Pro. And so let's get started. We're actually starting pretty late. We already got some of the shots during the day, so we're going to be doing the interiors. We have 15 minutes before we need to come outside, so I'm going to set my timer. We basically got to shoot the entire inside of the house in 15 minutes, which isn't ideal, but you'll see how we do it pretty quick. Luxury photos is all about, so I set my timer. Luxury photos is all about timing, especially when they request twilights, which is probably what we do 75% of the time. 25% of the time is daytime. So I usually like to wait till sunset, which we already are 5 minutes after. So we'll just start right here in the front in the home. We'll actually get this again because of we actually got this earlier. So I'm gonna start. Actually, I'll go ahead and start here. So I'm actually not going to use my flash on a lot of this. You don't necessarily need to use flash if there's a lot of lighting. This home has a lot of can lights, so we should be good for right now on lighting. But right now I'm just dialing in my settings. Let's bring the aperture down. I don't want super long shutter, so let's do 5.6 there. I like to leave ISO leave it on ISO 100 as long as possible. I also know that the white balance is not correct, but I'll be able to adjust that in the editing process. So really what I'm just focusing on is composition right now. And actually this entire house has excellent lighting, so I'm gonna just leave my light right here so it's out of room, since I only have a short window of time, and I'm just working on composition and getting good shots here. Now we're just shooting single exposure at this time of day. All right, let me do a straight on shot that shows this room with the kitchen. So we've already done, we did a walkthrough video, we did Matterport, so we're pretty familiar with this house. You don't want to just jump in and not know what you're getting yourself into with limited time. Right now I'm just kind of managing, what I'm managing is shutter speed right now. That's why I have it set to 5.6. I like to leave it, like I said, ISO 100 as long as possible, because that gives us ultimate flexibility when we need to reduce shadows and boost highlights without introducing a whole lot of noise into the images. Now you can spend a lot of time and shoot earlier in the day, which probably is preferred for most people. I for one will do that, and then I also like to hustle during what I call money time of day for luxury photos. So I'm just working my way around the home. The white balance is clearly too yellow, but like I said, I'm not worried about it because we will fix it in post-production or in the editing process. All right. Now, if you're focused, so this session of luxury is more focused on efficiency and getting through it. You can get better photos if you're just focused on a few angles or a few shots. Yeah, I think this works for what we're trying to accomplish right now. This particular customer ordered a walkthrough video last minute, so we had to kind of scramble to get everything done, but we made it happen. So she's happy about that. All right. I'm just working my way around the kitchen. Let me lower my tripod a little bit. We got good, nice mountain views out the window. At 5.6, the mountains won't be super crisp, but it's kind of a trade-off to be able to move around when you're working with limited time. Let me move in a little bit. Not perfectly straight, but we'll be able to fix that. All right, now let's move right here. All right, so we got that whole room. And that looks good. I'll get this gas range here. Then they have Thermador, which is a really nice brand of appliances. So I'm trying to make sure to kind of highlight as I go through here some nice features of the home. All right, I'm not sure if I got a straight on shot here, but I will since I'm right here. Let's see. Not really liking how the edge of that looks. It looked like it was protruding a little bit too much. I think I already got this shot. I'm getting this shot. I'm gonna scoot in and focus here. I think I already got this shot. I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna move down, go down the master side first. That side of the home is a little bit darker first because the sun's setting on that side. So we'll work our way that way first here. Now for sure you are going to take a lot longer in homes that have bad lighting, but if you can go in and identify that the home has good lighting like this one, you know, you can save a lot of time. All right, let's see. Not the biggest fan here. I'm gonna bring it down as well. Felt like that vanity was blowing out that wall, so I want to make sure that I have enough data in that image. All right, let's go here. Let's go to the master first. Actually, no, we'll just keep it consistent and go here. Now, this is a super dark room, and my shutter speed is going to be much slower. This is one that I'm on limited time, and I want to fine tune this room. That room's lighting is going to be the same regardless if we shoot it at 10 at night or right now, so I'm just going to move on. Focus on the rooms that have windows. And I'm also paying attention to fixtures. I don't want them too blown out. If they are, if I'm seeing a lot of blowouts on that, I will bring down my exposure a little bit. I think it's okay to have a little bit of blown out lighting, but not extreme. There's times where I've seen some of our photos and it was way too blown out, and there was literally no information in the highlights. All right, so let's keep going here. Now the camera that I'm shooting with tonight is this A7R4. It's got 61 megapixels. It's kind of overkill. But for those mountain shots, since I'm shooting with a 12 to 24, it will be nice. I feel like that's a little high. It looked a little stretched. Yeah, let's try this. We'll be able to zoom in. If we need to. All right, let's wide. All right, that looks all right. And at ISO 100, I know that I'll have some decent amount of flexibility as well. All right, so we got these blue windows, so that's what we want to see. I probably would like also another angle on this bathtub. Let's step in right here, a straight, oh, camera's falling. And then here we have windows, so we're seeing our reflections. So we'll have to get out of the way. One reason to have a Bluetooth trigger. All right, so we got vanity, we got shower, we got bathtub. And we got this room, we're pretty much set here. I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna do the theater last before we start shutting everything down. And so we got that room, so let's crank through the rest of these rooms here, just kind of in order. We're not doing the garage. She doesn't want any garage shots. Alright, so let me just do a side angle as well. It's probably not necessary, but just good to have a little extra stuff. Alright. Now this room, let's do a straight on shot since that's what we got to work with. We can see our reflections here, so we'll get out of the way. Alright, and now I'll move. I like the angles towards the windows a little bit better. So we got that nice blue glow. Like I said, that's what we like to see on our luxury photos. And now let's move over here. Now this one is where the fixtures don't have a whole lot of data, so I'm going to just take another darker shot as well to be able to have that in case we needed to layer two images and bring in data from that. All right, here we go. There's an excellent looking shot as well. Now you got to be pretty quick, because if it gets too dark outside, then all your fixtures and stuff start to look way overexposed, and you don't want that. Right here we're gonna bring it down a little bit because the bathroom is pretty bright. The window's pretty dark, but we can still there's still a lot of information there we'll be able to bring out. So here in the bathroom, let's get a darker shot. This is probably good for the fixture above the vanity. And I'm going to take another shot at 0. Now if you do multiple shots like that, you can see that my camera focused twice. So sometimes you'll have to do an alignment in Photoshop if you're doing layers. All right. So we have this. Is that it? Did we take the whole interior of the home? I feel like we got the whole side of the home. And we have 2 minutes and 47 seconds to spare. It is after 15 minutes after sunset. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna light the back porch, the fire pit, and make sure that all the lighting is on. And I'm also paying attention to where the sun is setting. Sometimes, depending on if the home, sometimes it's better to shoot the backyard or the front first. But for this home, it doesn't really matter, both front and back. We just want to get all the shots going this way first. Usually if homeowners here, you want to do this, or you want them to do it. You don't want it going crazy, but I think that's probably a good height for the pictures. We can obviously adjust it if we need to. All right, so I'm gonna get some of these early, I guess we would call these earlier Twilights. I think this looks good. This isn't the time where we would need lighting yet. It's not dark enough, I don't think. We could fake it and bring down exposure. So I can bring down exposure there. Let's see how that looks. You know, we'll just have kind of a variety of types of shots here. One thing that we do need to do is the pool light. So before we focus on this, and I'll double check the front of the house as well, making sure that those lights are on. So we already got instructions from the agent about the pool lights. So let's go back in the lights here. All right, lights turned on. So pool lights should be on, and they are. So let's just go outside, out front, and get some now. In my opinion, I feel like the best shots of the front of the house are over here. So I'm gonna shoot the front first, going this way before the backyard, because I think we can get away with some shots. Better shots of the backyard are towards sunset. So let's bring our camera and flash out front, and we'll get started there. All right. Got the door. All right, so we're gonna start over here. And usually I'll shoot the front and back yard twice on it, usually. At 2 different times. And just, sometimes it's hard to tell you know, which set or which lighting is gonna turn out better. All right, so these shots, I wanna bring it up so we can get a little bit of mountain views in the background. Maybe you can't really see too well, so let's focus on the house here. It is on a corner lot. We did take aerial photos, so that's gonna cover the entire lot, so we'll focus on the house here. And it's still pretty early. I can tell by, because I'm at negative 0.7. I'm at 1.6 seconds, so it's pretty long. It's a pretty long shutter speed at 5.6. But you also want to pay attention if it's windy or not, because if it's windy, you want your shutter speed to be a little bit faster, because you don't want a lot of blowing bushes all over the place. So these first ones, I feel like it's not dark enough yet where the lighting, you know, with the flash. So I'm just gonna get a set of ambient style. We can send them over as bonuses, but it's gonna be really quick. I think the lighting's gonna change really fast. So we'll see. Also pay attention to if there's street lights that can destroy your lighting on your house. It happens pretty frequently in normal neighborhoods. So just be mindful of that. So I just got some ambience there. I think I'm gonna go in the backyard. I'm gonna come back out front. Actually, maybe I'm gonna reshoot it again right now. It does look pretty dark. I might try to fake it a little bit darker, and now I'm gonna start using my flash. So we get more of our luxury style picture. So you can see I dropped it. This is probably ideal right here. I'm at a 1.7. The sky is still pretty blue. We have good detail on the sconces. This is one thing I'm paying attention to my shutter speed. I have 1.3 seconds of shutter. I like to trigger my flash multiple times for each shot. So I'm gonna put it on a timer right now, 2-second timer. Let's change it to 2-second timer so I can kind of get ready and be ready for multiple. Well, when I'm at full power, when I'm at full power, it doesn't recycle fast enough, so I'll do 1/2, or I can make some adjustments here. We can make our aperture a little bit higher and get a little bit more time. So I changed it to 7.1. Now I got 2 seconds, and I'm keeping ISO at 100. So see if I can get at least two flashes to kind of cover the front of the house. Let's take a look at it. That looks okay. It does look like I, all right, let's try that again. Just the lighting is a little bit different. I saw that I kind of, the lighting on the driveway was a little bit too yellow. We don't want too much lighting. So I'm using a full CTO gel. It does seem to be a little yellow. Let me try one more here. I usually like to stay pretty close to the camera so that the shadows don't go all over the place. That looks pretty good. I think we'll be able to work with that in post. But if you want more punch out of your flashes, you can increase your ISO, which we can increase it to 320. That's probably about as much as we want to. Let's take it back to 8. All right, now we got landscape lighting on. Let's see how our flash looks now. All right, you can see that definitely brightened it up a little bit. All right, that's pretty good. I think that one was our best one so far. So I was just kind of fine-tuning the flash right there, getting a feel for the home and my lighting. You know, we have a full CTO gel on here, but sometimes we'll switch to different CTO gels or no gel depending on what the lighting of the home is. So here I got 1.3. We'll leave at ISO 320 just so that our flash is, we'll go to F10, 2 seconds. I like the 2-second so I can flash at least 2 or 3 times. And let's see what we got. That looks pretty good. I know the color looks a little bit yellow, but we'll be able to adjust that in post. I'm just more looking at the lighting. I'm gonna do one more. Try to get better coverage of the garage, center, and then right. All right. I feel pretty confident that one will turn out all right. I'm gonna come over here to the right. Man, my arm is getting tired. All right, so now it's getting really dark. Well, actually not yet. Let me increase my my exposure. All right, let's try again here. See if we cover the front of this house. That one will be all right. It does look, it's hard to tell what it focused on. So we can switch it to manual focus and kind of look. You can have manual, I feel like I'm about 17 meters. Let's leave it at 20. All right, that looks much better. That looks much more in focus. I'll do one more because it's really dark down the way. We'll be able to use an exposure brush. I'll try to fire off an extra one there. All right, we got a couple to work with. We'll keep moving. Now I'm gonna get a shot here of just the front. Front area. Now we're a lot closer, so we probably don't need that much flash. Making it a little bit brighter. I'm looking at the sconces to make sure that they're not blown out. And I'll probably reduce my flash to like 1/8. All right, so let's go here. I got 3.2 second exposure. So I could shutter a lot, but I don't want to overdo it. Sometimes you can kind of ruin your shot with too much flash. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna do it one more time. Try to just get a good coverage along the front of this shot. So let me look at it now. That looks good. We'll be able to work with that. All right. So let's move on to the backyard. And then we may come back out front, depending on timing. And, whoops. Yeah, I think we'll come back out front because that right side, the sky was really bright still. All right, let's lower here. This is a workout. All right. So we got, so it's all getting dark that way, so we'll want to focus on these shots first. We got two second shutter here. All right. All right, from here, let me see how that looked. It looked a little dark so I did add a little bit of light. I don't know. Here, let's come over here first because I'm concerned that this is a great shot, but it's getting pretty dark. And I want to get a good shot of the mountains. F10 is pretty dang good. All right, let's just go. With that fire, sometimes it's a mixed bag. You don't know how that fire is going to look. So we may need to have a faster shutter speed. Let's see. That actually doesn't look too bad. Yeah, maybe we'll bring it down just a little bit. It's a little bit high. All right, let's try that. All right, I feel like that's good. The other one was good. So we want to make sure to get all the shots towards this way. You can see how I still have some room for exposure, but I don't want to blow out the interior shots or those or the lights. Sorry, Ray, if I blinded you there. Let's see. All right, that looks good. Yeah, excellent. Now I did switch it to manual focus because sometimes in low light, you know, it's a little hit or miss with the focus right here. I'm pushing it, I can see it's dark right here. So I'm just trying to fill in some light where it's dark. That looks pretty good. That'll work. Let me get this grassy area. I mean, this is, man, I didn't see what the exposure was, but yeah, it's really dark right here, so don't accidentally hit your tripod while it's doing that. And when it's a super long exposure like that, you'll want to double check for sure to make sure that it's not all jacked up. And usually to the extent of how long the exposure is, that's how long it takes for Sony's to process the image. So let me take a look at it. All right, that'll work. It looks like it's in focus, so we're good there. All right, so here we go. So, all right, making sure nothing's blown out. We got 2.5 seconds, that's perfect. I think this will turn out good. So we just blanket lighting all over. I'm still at 1/8, but we are getting a little bit more punch because of the ISO 3. Man, that looks excellent. We have great exposure all over the place. And at F10, everything is sharp. So I'm gonna move in here. Let's do the same thing right here. Just kind of paint light around. Whoops. That looks great as well. All right, let's keep going. So I'm keeping an eye on that sunset over there is looking great right now. Right here, I'm gonna kind of straddle the edge of the pool. Kind of risky, but let's do it. Let's see what we got. All right, that'll work. I feel like the basketball court's a little bit, the basketball hoop's a little distracting. What I'll do is get a straight on shot. Let me put this down. Let's try to compose a, maybe not a straight on shot, maybe an angled without the basketball hoop. It's out this way right here. All right, we got a 4-second exposure. So I'm keeping an eye on my exposure right now. I don't want it too terribly long. I'm fairly confident in my shots right now, so I'm gonna keep moving. Move to the next spot because that processing time is gonna take a while. I'll review it. Oh man, these are good shots, but the sky is starting to get really dark right here. We're probably about at the limit of where the sky will look good. We will be able to do sky replacements. I probably should have started over here shooting that way first, but yeah, we still have good, it's when it goes completely black that you're concerned about. We still have kind of that dark blue hue, so we'll be able to bring up the shadows there. All right, let's see what we got. I'm moving. I know we're running low on time, so let me get this grill here. I'm gonna come out here, kind of paint where the shot is gonna be. I'm gonna stop and pause and just take a look. Really what I'm looking for is just to make sure that the lighting's good, that I'm covering a good amount of the backyard. And yeah, I think it's going well. There's nothing really over there to get shots of. And I do want to go back out. Let's get close here. Let's get this shot. I want to go back out front and get another set. I'm trying to hopefully not be in the shot and light it up out there. Let's take a look. All right, yeah, so I'm not in the shot. I was able to light up the pool. Let's do one more shot. All right, let's move out front. Now I might be out of time just about from the driveway shots, but I know from up the hill, that's the shot that I feel wasn't very good initially. And we could also get a shot right here of the driveway, just showing out there. I think this looks excellent. We got the moon out there tonight, so let's see how it looks. All right. We got a 6-second exposure. This one's super long. We have plenty of time to kind of paint as we can, but sometimes if you light up too much on the driveway, it looks bad. So be aware of your settings and what your flash does. That will work. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so I'm gonna go straight to the shots that I feel like I missed the first time around or that weren't the best. So I'm gonna start here, go center, and then go left. All right, oh man. All right, so now we're dealing with an extremely long shutter. We got a 20-second, so I'm cranking the aperture down to f4, and I'm putting up my focus, say 30 meters. I feel like that's about the distance from where I'm at to the home, and let's give it a try. see how that looks. That was our first big adjustment to lighting. You can see it actually looks good. I mean, we could work with this. Now with the wider, or the bigger aperture setting, let's crank our flash down. Let's go 1/32, 1/8. It was just too much. Other than that, it was looking good. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna do one more, just a little bit more. I'll do 1/16, because that right there will work. All right, let's move. I know we got some that will work. All right, now we'll go middle. Should we go closer in or wide? I don't think I got a Twilight one wide, or sorry, closer in. Whoops, I didn't want to mess with that. I wanted to mess with that. All right, yeah, it's looking good still. You can see the sky. The sky looks blue. We have a 2.5 second shutter. We're still making progress. You just gotta kind of keep an eye on your shutter speed and your flash settings. Just make adjustments as you go to be able to accomplish what you want. That's really bright. Let's take one more, a little bit less. Let's do 1/32 on this flash. You want it to be lit, but you don't want it to look too artificial. All right, that looks good. I'll take it. And you can see our sconces are looking a little bit blown out. We're getting to where it's pretty dark, and we can't really lower it. I think we're at 0 right now. We're at -7 or -0.7 right now, which is pretty good. I guess we could go a little bit lower if we wanted to. You know what? I'm going to do a wider shot. I don't think I've gotten a wider shot out here. Let me bring up the tripod. All right. Wider shot, I can see the mountain out to the right. I think when we boost up shadows, this shot's going to look excellent. So we got 1.6 seconds to make the lighting happen. We're pretty far away, so this might not be enough light, but we'll give it a shot first and see what we got. I'm gonna go ahead and set for a higher setting, maybe 1/8. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty good. I'll do a second one a little bit brighter. I don't think I'm gonna hit that mountain a couple miles in the distance. Let's see. Oh, that's too bright. Like, that takes a lot of work to make that to look good. So I think I feel good with that first one right there. That one looks a lot more natural. All right, so we got, let me just take a look at the photos we got right now. So I feel pretty confident that these will work. I'm just trying to think if there's any of these exterior shots that I would like to do again. I feel pretty confident in these. Like, once you've edited a handful of them, you know what you're looking for. So yeah, it's getting really dark. So let's go ahead and go inside and get that theater room, and I think that'll do it. I think we have plenty to work with. I know this method of shooting really nice homes is probably not for everybody, but you know, if you can move efficiently, you can really get some amazing results with just the single flash, and just focusing on your camera settings. And anyways, we're not gonna need flash for the theater shot. Now let's just come in here, and lo and behold, the lighting is exactly what it was before. All right, so now we're gonna have to, I'd be okay with a long exposure in here. Nothing's moving. I would like ISO to be back at 100. Let's move our aperture back up to 8. So we got to, let's go to 0. I guess we'll go -7, sure. So we got an 8-second exposure. I guess the only thing I didn't double check was the focus, because we were focused, I think, 20 meters away. So with a wide angle lens, they're pretty forgiving. You have a pretty good big range of focus. Let's take a look at it. If you look at it, let me zoom in. You can see it does look like it's in focus. One thing, you can see the stars from those lights. One thing that's going to make those look better is if we crank up the aperture a little bit more. Now we're looking at a 20-second exposure time. We definitely don't want that. Let's go ahead. Since usually we're going to keep this pretty dark, we're not going to boost the shadows to crazy town. Let's go to ISO 320 and shoot it again. And you'll be able to see the difference. You know, a smaller aperture of I guess in this case 13 will have better, I guess they call them sun stars. You can see that versus that. It's a lot more prominent. It looks good. I'm going to go ahead and switch it back to autofocus. Let's do a center shot here. 6-second exposure. Now if you're shooting inside a home and all the rooms are relatively the same size, we focused in here nice, so we can just switch it back to manual focus, and pretty much the rest of the rooms in the house should be in focus as well. All right, so that's good. I guess we got the 2 shots. Let me just make sure. Yeah, those are great. I like those shots. All right, now we'll just do a mental checklist. You can see now that the sky is super black. At this point, we basically have ran out of time. If I look this way, you can see a little bit. You know, one thing that you can get when it is this dark is some cool night scenes that are super long exposures just to get some of the city lights. So we might do a little bit of that. But what time is it? 6:30. So right now it's about 45 minutes after sunset. So I like to start my best shots at sunset on the interiors and go outside 20 minutes, and we can see we did all that in a matter of 20-25 minutes outside. So anyways, that's going to do it for this luxury photo shoot. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to reach out. I'll see you guys on the next one.